what specific issues do you think have led to the North being at the short end of the stick in Nigeria's political landscape?
Basically on all aspects, in education, in healthcare, in creating and sharing the wealth of the nation. In virtually every aspect, the North had been holding on to power, mostly during military regimes, and under the present dispensation, the North had less number of years. Not that the North is worried about holding on to power as a basis of remaining relevant in Nigeria. No, but we would want to see our people living in harmony. We are not looking for affluence, but we must go beyond the state of destitution that most of our people have now gone under. So, and we are not blaming anybody. We are blaming ourselves. The League of Northern Democrats want to have a retrospective view of things and see where did we go wrong. And we have decided to come together, unite as a people, and then forge forward. If the North will unite, then I'm sure the rest of the country will at least all these things that come from some of the analysts in the South, that the North is this, the North is that, then would at least reduce. That's our intention.
Well, if you say, well, you're doing some introspection, which is key here, and at that, Pali, did you also involve the governors? Because they have always had their allocation, and for a lot of people like yourself, they still think that most governors are to blame for Nigeria's war, not just northern Nigeria.
Yeah, I agree with you. Over the years, I have fought these things from more than maybe 15, 16 years. I've been always fighting the governors, especially from my state and then at the national level, in order to have good governance. And when all else failed, some of us went to contest in order to take over power and fix things. But the masses, and that is why we have set up a committee on reorientation. We need to reorient our people because the cycle of voting terrible people into office on account of collecting something or expecting to collect something not for public interest must have to stop. So if you blame those elected, then you should also blame the electorate, especially in parts of the North. When we were growing up, Northern Nigeria's politics had always been politics of ideology, politics of principles. But all these values have now crashed. We are now on politics of money for hand, back for ground. And you cannot build a nation on the basis of that.
Well, thinking of which, could you elaborate on how the League intends to bridge the fault lines of religion, ethnicity, and politics in northern Nigeria?
You see, ethnicity is a natural phenomenon. I didn't make myself a Fulani man. I don't know what you are, but you didn't make yourself there. So I cannot change myself. You cannot change yourself. So if we are fighting on the basis that I am who I am and you are who you are, then we will fight forever because we can't change it. So let us fight on what we can change. So in our focus, we are going to bring in, and we have brought in every side of northern Nigeria. We have the Muslims, we have the Christians, we have the Hausa Fulanis, they have the Fulanis, we have every group. That is one. And what we did is to bring our best. You know, those who by themselves have attained some status in society by their hard work, by good luck, and by the will of God. And the second group is made up of those who are members of families of those Nigerians, northern Nigerians who fought for our independence, who fought for the survival of the country, both in civil and military. So we brought these two groups together. Now, this group of Northern Democrats, League of Northern Democrats, is the most formidable, and I cannot see how conceivable it is for the North to produce a better and more formidable group than our group.
Well, the future of the North is very important here, and the humanitarian crisis is something that should also worry the League. How you are planning to ensure that these are taken care of?
Well, nothing can be attained without you having the levers of power, that is state authority. So when, for example, as they mentioned, when, for example, President Tinubu was elected in the North, by the North, I just saw my senator giving statistic of 60-something%. Nobody sat with him and said, this is what we want you to do for the North, this is what we want you to do for the North. Now, those who sat with the president were the governors. And you can see it clearly that the president did a transaction with the governors. For the first time in the history of this country, former governors have made a list of, I think, 7 or 8 as ministers. But for the rejection of one of them by the Senate, there would have been 8, in the cabinet. And then another former governor becoming the national chairman of the party. And so the moment you look at this, it's just a business it's a transaction that we will give you, then you give us. It is about them. So our position is this. Those who have been operating the system all these years are responsible for the failure of the system. Those of us who have been critical of those holding on to power should be seen as the better alternative, because those who have been holding, we've seen the results of their leadership. The result of the leadership is crushing the state.